Hi guys, welcome back to Wolfie TV, and we're going to be doing another Wolves video trying to keep the positive vibes. Obviously, over the weekend it was announced that Diego Costa, João Moutinho will definitely be leaving the club, and we're trying to negotiate a new deal for Adama Traore, but are yet to do so. And of course, we've had a lot of conversation going on about Wolves, about whether Lopetegui wants to be here even, and about what budget could be available. But I'm trying to keep it positive. So today we're going to have a look at the players that we had out on loan across the 22-23 season to maybe see if there's a few gems that could step into that first team. Obviously conscious that we might not have a mega budget. So maybe having a look at them, seeing if there's anyone that could step into the team, as well as maybe looking if they should get another loan move or move on to another club, which would obviously generate some income. So let's start off with this guy, and he's probably someone that needs no introduction at all, Mr. Fabio Silva. Now, interestingly, Fabio Silva had a really good season, really. He played a total of 34 games across 2 different leagues, 2 different teams, and at just 20 years of age, he managed to generate 11 goals and 2 assists. Now, he also played basically in completely different positions across the season as well. We saw him play partly as a main striker, partly as a second striker, and then at PSV, he was also used as a winger as well. He made a good impact with that PSV team. Of course, some of you may have seen he scored the winning penalty that ensured their cup success. And there's a lot of speculation about what next for Fabio Silva. Well, I think we've got to remember that this kid, he was given a really hard time, I think. You know, he had to step into a job that he clearly wasn't ready for at the time, but he's just 20 years of age. Now, for me, if we actually look at this, imagine we were signing a 20 years old striker. He'll be 21 just when the season starts. I believe his birthday's in July. We're signing a 21-year-old striker who in the prior season has scored 11 goals, 2 assists. We'd probably be quite happy about the potential of him and what he could do, especially under Lopetegui. Of course, the stats don't lie either. Across the season, achieving a rating of 6.8 out of 10, which is pretty solid across 2 leagues. He also bagged goals in the Europa Conference League as well. He's, of course, been someone that has really divided the fans. Some think, you know, we need to get rid of him. I think we've got to put the sentiment aside now. Yes, we overpaid for him. Yes, he probably came to us at too soon an age. And it was another one of those George Mendes masterclasses where basically for every one good transfer, he manages to rip us off. And even when he gives us a good player, he tends to rip us off as well. We need to forget about that. I think he can do a major job in this team. So that's why for Fabio Silva, probably no surprise from what I've been speaking about the last couple of minutes. I think we should keep him. I want to see what he could do under Lopetegui. I think he could do well as a second striker. Wouldn't write him out maybe being a bit of a winger as well, especially if we go to like using inverted wingers. I think there's a place for him in this team, especially as we've seen now, there's more support for the strikers under Lopetegui. You've got obviously, you know, even if it's not 2 strikers, you've got someone playing off the main striker, either in an attacking mid position or as a second striker. I think he could do a lot better this time, and all the emphasis won't purely be on him. So me personally, I'm welcoming him back. I think he could do a job, and I think we could keep him, and he could do a really good job with some of our upfront problems. Let's move on to this guy next. Hoover, obviously signed from us from Liverpool, kind of a part of the Jota deal. It was almost a little bit of a situation where it was a sweetener, wasn't it, to give us Hoover. And we thought at the time maybe this could be someone that really generated into a really good player. Obviously very young when we signed him and still not really that old now. Or, you know, he's still very much a young player. A bit of a mixed bag with him across the season. He managed to play 20 games, getting 4 goals and 3 assists across 2 teams again. He played for PSV. It really did not work out there. But in January, he went to Stoke. Things seemed to get a lot better. And I believe I've took his season rating of 7.02 across his time at Stoke, where he did a lot better. That's where he got his goals. That's where he got his assists and played well at that right back position. Now, it's an interesting one because, as we know, we need some support on that right back position. Could he be one that could be Nelson Semedo's support? But there is a lot of history with him with Wolves. questions of his attitude. Those seem to remain at PSV. But maybe he's a young lad that suddenly dropped the ego, learned when he ended up having to play in the Championship with Stoke, changed his attitude. Maybe it's something that Lopetegui can look at him and go, maybe we can make something out of you. Maybe we can develop that potential. I question whether that is really going to happen now. And I have said sell. As it stands at the moment, I think he's a player that we should move on. Having said that, maybe he comes back under Lopetegui. Maybe he could be a second choice right back and live up to some of that potential. But I think knowing what we know about the player so far, I think we do move him on. Let's talk about Guedes next, guys. No surprise. I've not done any stats for him because it's pointless, because I just thought, why should I put the time and effort going and getting his stats, his ratings, when he showed no effort and no want to be at the club? And this is just another sour reminder about why we need to get rid of Mendes. The bloke came because he was basically forced to the club. We're seeing that what happened with Barcelona at the moment too, allegedly. You know, Ansu Fati really not wanting to come join Wolves, but it's being used as a bit of an offer for, obviously, Ruben Neves. We need to get rid of this kind of thing happening. He didn't want to come to Wolves. He didn't really want to play for us. I think when our league position obviously didn't really turn out good either, he was one of those that really just sulked, offered nothing. There's a lot of talk whether basically he might be going out on loan again. I think we just need to cut our losses. We spent a huge amount of money on him. Look, we're probably going to lose 15, maybe at least 10 million. I'd probably say more 15 million. But if we can ship him away for about around 15, 20 million pounds, just take it at this stage. He's never going to play for us. We're never going to get a player out of him. Don't take loan offers. Try and find someone to buy him so we have the money to buy players. Let's move on. Hi guys, just a quick one from me. If you're enjoying the video, please remember to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do subscribe to the channel. We're going to have plenty more Wolves content coming up over the summer and obviously into the new season. So hit that subscribe button and let's get back to the video. Luke Kundal, interesting time for Luke Kundal. I thought he was really going to be one of those players that really materialised into the Wolves team. And when he got a loan move for Swansea, I thought maybe this could be his year to do really well in the Championship. As we've seen with prior players getting sent to the Championship for a year, maybe 2 years, has really saw some good rewards. Unfortunately for Luke, he's 21 years of age now. Things really didn't go maybe as well as they should have. His season rating for the season, 6.78. But he only actually played 32 games in the league. He got a massive goal, obviously, for us in terms of it was a goal against the Albion, which pretty much a last game of the season as well, which ruined their playoffs hopes. But he only started 53% of his 53% of the available games for him in the league, and he also only played around 50% of the time. So he wasn't a major contributor into this Swansea team. You know, when you start to wonder, is he going to step up to that Premier League level? I liked him as a player, though. So maybe just write this off as one of those, possibly a loan move that just didn't work for the Swansea, didn't really work for the player. Let's try and get him another Championship loan. Let's see what he can do. I felt he had a lot of potential. It doesn't seem to be materialising at the moment. But as we know, sometimes loan moves just don't really work out well. Maybe don't work out well for the system that's being played, etc. Let's see if we can find him a better match, and let's see how he does in another Championship loan next season. Talking of a player that has had fantastic Championship loans, he's had a few now, Ryan Giles. Obviously, a really interesting one as we maybe look for a left-back option this summer, because he had a great game, was a pivotal player in Middlesbrough team, over 7 out of 10 rating across the season, playing a bit more as a wing-back. In the 45 games he played, he did, I've got that the wrong way around, guys. It was 11 assists he got, not goals. So just to clarify, 11 assists he got whilst at Middlesbrough. I think this is an easy one for me. There we go. I've got it right on the next screen. 11 assists he got, not 11 goals. I've said keep Ryan Giles. I think he could be a really good option for us at left back. We're going to have a couple of young players then really competing for that left back position. We've got Cody Campbell, we've got Bueno, and we've also got Ryan Giles. And I think all three of them had shown real potential across the season. Maybe another pre-season under Lopetegui one of them could really take the space for their own. And it would be a really good way of showing how we can use the academy to basically just save money, but at the same time yield first team players. Let's move on to speaking about Mr. Conor Cody now. Obviously, as we've seen, Everton rejected their option to buy at a £4.5 million move. Conor has obviously been great for Wolves. He really has. But he only really worked well across the back five. And I think when our fears, well, not fears, but I think there was a lot of us saying when it comes to playing a back four, if things get changed up, Conor Cody really cannot adapt. It's kind of been proven. Bruno didn't fancy him. He then got sent out to Everton. And when Dyche started to play more of a four at the back, he struggled to make it into the team. I think it's quite easy one for Conor. I think we sadly have to move him on. Love the bloke as a person, but he really doesn't fit the system that we're playing. And it's rumoured that Sheffield United are interested. Maybe, let's see, get him another chance at playing in the Premier League. He'd probably do really well there, in all honesty. I think it's something that could suit all parties. And obviously, I think things have been a bit damaged at Wolves now. We've seen like members of his family speaking out about how maybe he wasn't treated properly, especially under Bruno Lage. Of course, I think it was his sister celebrated the fact that Bruno Lage got sacked. I think it's time to move him on. So let's talk about this guy on screen now, Cody Campbell. Another one I wanted to speak about because and a player that I thought had an absolute lot of potential. Of course, just 20 years old. And I thought he was going to end up maybe a striker. He played for Wycombe this season. Quickly get into this because he moved to, he played more as an attacking mid. Only made the starting 11 47% of the times in the league. He managed to pull off 3 goals in that time, but really didn't manage to break into the first team. I'm a bit one of them with Kem at the moment. I wouldn't lose massive sleep if we sold him. I wouldn't lose massive sleep if we gave him another loan chance, but definitely someone that I don't think we're going to be seeing in and around the first team next season. Obviously, there we go, guys. The stats on screen now. 17 games he played. He managed to get 3 goals and a very average season rating of 6.61. And as I said, loan-sell. Let's speak about this guy now. I wonder if you guys, everyone's going to know who he is to start with. Kawabi, that's how I'm going to pronounce it anyway. He signed for Wolves. He spent a period of time on loan at Grasshoppers. Had a really good season, though. I do have to say with him, though, he is 27 years old now. This isn't a real youngster. You did wonder whether this is one of those, like, as we know, Grasshoppers and Wolves are kind of linked. Was it a way to just sign a player for relatively cheap and loan him out, knowing that he'll always play for Grasshoppers? Who knows? But, you know, we've got that kind of sister club, is it called? Partnership with Grasshoppers. Fantastic season. 33 games he played, scoring 9 goals and 8 assists. He's a winger. I think he's a player that we should keep. As I said, 27 years of age now. So if he's going to perform, now is the time. People will say, obviously, that the league itself probably isn't up to the standard of the Premier League. I probably agree with you. I would. But I think it's really exciting that he should at least deserve a pre-season. 9 goals, 8 assists. Really good season rating. And obviously, those 2 things on screen is something that we've really lacked across the season. And more personally, I just think we should keep him and give him a go. We're going to go through a few other players now that are going to have interesting seasons in general. Bit of a mixed bag here. We're going to start off with a defender that's probably has been compared in the past to Van Dijk, probably because of his Netherlands heritage. I think he pronounced it as Longwick. He's still a young centre-back, played on loan for Plymouth this season in League One. Of course, Plymouth got promoted to the Championship. I think he's one of them, but it'd be nice to maybe see him go back to Plymouth or maybe even get a really high team Championship loan. I think from what we've heard, Plymouth really respected him. He played really well for them, did really well on loan. They think he's going to have a big future. Maybe needs one more move. Maybe next season, as in the season after the one coming up, he could be integrated into the team, but a good one to keep an eye out for. Let's speak about another centre-back, of course, Mosquera, who went across to the MLS and has done fantastic there, in all honesty. I believe the MLS club that he's at, FC Cincinnati, have got the option to extend his loan. It's either Wolves have or they have until January. So maybe someone that could come in the second half of the season, maybe someone that would benefit from another loan as well. But another player that I'm really interested to watch. It'll be interesting to see what happens across the upcoming season and whether he will eventually break into the Wolves team. Let's speak about this guy, Boller, who is the right back. He actually ended up playing for Grasshoppers again this season. I believe he's had a 2-year loan spell at them, actually. As we know, we've got that partnership with Grasshoppers. Potentially maybe a second right back option, but he really didn't tear up trees, in all honesty, with Grasshoppers. So it might be time to move him on, but if we don't, it's not the end of the world. I don't think he's going to be our starting right back, put it that way. And last, I want to speak about this guy, Bruno Jordão. Of course, he's been really plagued with injuries. When we signed him with Pedro Neto, if you think back to all that time ago, I think we signed both of them, didn't we? Was it around 20 million euros at the time? More was expected of Jordão than of Neto. Of course, it was Neto that ended up getting into the first team at Wolves. Obviously, he's had a couple of shaky seasons himself with injuries, but really the one that we thought, yes, we're going to make a major price tag off. Jordão never really lived up to that potential. Unfortunately, he had injuries along the way, and his career's really just taken a bit of a downside. He played in the Portuguese league last season, and he made 29% of the starting 11 in the league. He made 11 appearances and just got 1 goal. I wanted to include him just because it's a real shame to see how his career has maybe veered off because, of course, as I said, he was the one that probably came to us of a bit more potential than Neto. Guys, that's from another video that I did earlier. I thought I had my wall screen to finish off. You're going to have to look at Jordão. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments as always. And as I said in the video, if you have enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe. I'll be bringing you lots more Wolves content. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if you are watching this on Sunday. If not, enjoy your week. Take care. Goodbye.